Delighted to say we're joined by Lee Trueman, Commercial Director of NDG Artificial Intelligence, or NDGAI. Lee, thanks ever so much for joining us. Firstly, just like to introduce yourself and your role at NDGI, AI rather.
Yeah, so like I say, my name's Lee Trueman, Commercial Director at NDGAI. I've been in sales now for better part of 2 decades, so been around, sold pretty much everything you can sell. So from PPI, so I was one of those annoying people that rang people up trying to get PPI back from the bank, so don't throw anything. I entered the social care sector in about 2014 in a sort of ground level sales role on a sort of rostering system, and back then it was very hard to pitch to people about the cloud because not much was known about the cloud, especially in the social care sector, and there wasn't the push that we're seeing now from CQC to adapt technology. So it was very much a sort of paper-based industry, except for the thought leaders and the sort of people who were at the forefront of digital transformation. And I've just enjoyed being sort of in the social care sector, albeit a bit of a hands-off role. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. At NDG, I look after the sales team, marketing, anything that's customer focusing, and just enjoying working with the great people in the home care sector.
And what sort of success stories have you seen in relation to your work and home care in particular?
Yeah, so I mean, going back to the start, really, we've seen some great success stories with people adapting technology. So I've seen some people go from really low tech situations. So I think one of the worst I seen was someone had a cork board with the names of the clients, and they pin the carers' names onto them, which is just asking for trouble. So then seeing them from going from that to a system which makes sure that no one gets missed visits, you get alerts, you can log in, you can add notes and stuff like that, and just seeing sort of the end user, so the service users having a better experience, and obviously the very vulnerable people that we look after in the home care sector. So if someone has a missed visit, and it could be something as simple as not simple, but someone with dementia who gets really confused if they miss a visit, or touch wood, it doesn't happen too often, but someone who's reliant on medication, if that call gets missed, then it's really sort of not a good situation for service users to be in. So to see them adapting technology and having sort of alerts, notifications, having everything in one place is, it's just really good. More recently in my role with NDG, it's because we all know that there's so many carers needed, the shortage of carers, and we see Amazon offering sort of £25 plus an hour with a signing on bonus of £1,000. And we just can't compete with that. The sector just doesn't have the budgets to compete with that. And one of the people that we're soon to do a case study with, using the AI and having it more sort of efficient, they went from having 5 visits per carer to having 8 visits per carer. So again, they just were able to do more with less. And I think that's where sort of the care sector needs to get to, because the carers aren't there, and there's a very finite pool of carers for everyone to fight amongst. So I think now we need to use every tool at our disposal to just do more with less. And maybe that's where the shortage of carer gets solved, is by using something like AI, where you can sort of just increase it. So if you increase the amount of visits each carer can do by 25%, and that's not by sort of overwhelming them with work, because that's an area where we need to make sure that we're not sort of putting too much of a burden on the carer, but by using AI to make the most efficient runs. And if we can get more clients seen and more clients serviced in a timely fashion, with the same amount of carers, then that's a win, because I think the last one I read was 120,000 care vacancies at any one time. Is just, yeah, the sector's already stretched, so they can't afford to pay £1,000 bonus, because if you had a small car company and you had to pay each new carer £1,000, if you employed 10 new carers in a month, that's £10,000. And I don't know any home care except for the really, really big one that can afford to do that. So yeah, the AI just lets them sort of do more with less. Something else that has come about it, which is a bit of an unforeseen benefit, is it just allows some of these multi-branch companies to centralize the care, because we know that if there's 6 care coordinators across 3 branches, coordinator A might coordinate in this way, coordinator B might coordinate in a slightly different way, but using sort of artificial intelligence and the algorithms, it just allows the companies to set up a template. You press the button and it just allocates those calls consistently across it, rather than one carer saying, how come I've got 20 visits and that person's only got 10? So I think there's a lot of benefits to it. And something that we are quite keen about is, up until now, the only way to really run a home care business is to schedule those calls on a repeating basis, because if you are talking about, I think one of the companies we're working with do 12,000 calls a week. So if you had to manually schedule 12,000 calls a week, it's the headcount on coordinators and schedulers is just going to be, yeah, you can't scale the business that way. But using the AI, it just allows you to make sure that the optimal rota is in there, because having these schedules on a repeating basis allows you to scale your business. But social care and home care in general is such a fast-paced moving world. The schedule I put in place today might be great, it might be the optimal solution now, but in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, things change. So Doris might come on board with relatively simple care requirements, but in a few weeks she might have a fall, or she might need new medication, or unfortunately, as the stark reality, might develop dementia, and then again her needs change. So that schedule we put in place a few weeks ago is now sort of degraded to a point there where it's not the optimal solution. But using AI, if you can optimize that solution every week, then the rotas are always at the optimal best, which is the gold standards that we just need to aim for.
Amazing. Thank you ever so much for that. So I guess just thinking philosophically then, looking at home care in sort of 5-10 years time, I mean, what would the ideal things that you would like to see the sector reach towards?
That's a sort of, yeah, that's a question, isn't it? We could do a whole interview on that. But I suppose funding is the key thing. Having the right amount of funding, having the right amount of carers, and being on parity with the NHS, because we all know the NHS is an amazing sector. I'm not here to sort of praise home care but bash the NHS. It is amazing, but the benefits that they get, they deserve a lot more than what they get. But if you look at that in comparison to the home care sector, a lot of the home care workers would give their right arms to have the same perks as the NHS. And like I say, the NHS deserves everything they get and a lot more. But the home care sector deserves to be here. So at the minute, it's like NHS and then the home care sector. I think during the pandemic, everyone was about the NHS, and then social care just almost got added in as an afterthought. It was almost, oh yeah, we'll clap for the carers as well. And I was really hoping during the pandemic, when that light was shone on home care and social care in general, the things would change. But unfortunately, all we got was a lousy badge.
Yes, that's a very good point. Very, very good point. Well, thank you ever so much, Lee. Much appreciated. Just to end on, obviously you are an affiliate member of the Home Care Association. What do you enjoy most about being a member of us?
Everything really. So I've been in one form or another a member of the UKHCA or Home Care Association. I still struggle to get around the name change since about 2014. And it's everything from the event. So the one that was at the Oval this year. So the events that they're really good because we bumped into each other at the Health Plus Care. We had our panel discussion, Health Plus Care, and the one at the NEC, the Care Show, and not to mention Raw's UK Care Week that's coming up, and the Care and Occupational Therapy Show that's coming up in Exeter. They're great, but the massive amount of people with massive amounts of, I love the intimate shows that the sort of Home Care Association puts in, where you can really spend quality time with people instead of just the doors open and you're just flooded with people. The resources at the disposal, being a member of the UK, the Home Care Association, so you've done it again, is great. And I think just everyone at the Home Care Association is great, from Jane. Jane is one of the most respected figures in social care, to Sarah King, who I enjoy our coffees and our chats at all the different shows. So I just recommend being a member of the Home Care Association for a number of reasons, but it's one of the shining lights in the sector.
Really appreciate that. Well, Lee, thanks ever so much for your time, and all the very best for the coming weeks and months.
Awesome. Have a nice day.